properties, you see 6 or 7 vehicles sitting in the front yard on blocks. Look for people that are living in a camper next to the property because they can't afford to either put the power on or the water on. Look for those type of things. Look for things stacked all over the place. Look for people that may be in distress, because a lot of times it's some kind of a mental illness that they're going through. They can't even see the junk that they're living in. And it's not them. It's just the situation that they're in. And so if you can get in there and start talking some sense and give them hope, I'm telling you what, it'd be huge for them and huge for you. All right, welcome back. I'm Jason.
I'm Colter.
This is the Massive and Passive Income Show. So when I was a little kid, I went to Reed's Dairy for some ice cream. And I remember getting out of the vehicle and I was like, oh my gosh, that smells so bad. And my dad says, you know what these people around here would say that smells like? And I'm like, what's that? Smells like money. And I was like, that does not make any sense at all. As I got older though, I found out, you know what? That does smell like money to them, because those cows create what?
They create money.
That's right. And then later,
Reed's Dairy knows how to create it.
They do, and man, it's delicious too. They're milk and ice cream. But then I got a little bit older, and I started getting into real estate, and then that terminology came up again. We walked into this property, and it smelled so bad, and the person's like, you know what it smells like? I'm like, yeah, I know what it smells like. And he's like, it smells like money. And then it hit me. I'm like, that's what they're talking about. It smells like money because it smells so bad and it's so dirty, you can get a big discount on that property because of the shape it's in. Mm-hmm. And it may, it could be, I got into some where a lady over in Boise, she got in there and there were so many cats in that property, she had an allergic reaction, and I ended up giving her CPR on the front lawn. The realtor. Yeah.
Oh my word.
Yeah, she didn't even know she was like allergic to cats. We called 911, please. Ambulance came and took her away. So that didn't smell like money at the moment, but the negotiation part of it, people are scared of what they don't know. Mm-hmm. And you make your money when you buy, and you get paid when you sell. And that's what it's all about. That's why it smells like money.
So the places that smell like money are hoarder houses, cat houses, dog overrun houses,
crack shacks, meth houses.
You're seeing meth houses and marijuana and drugs, and you can see the gambit, right? And so when you walk into a property and immediately, it could be a beautiful property on the approach, right? All the curb appeal, all the cuteness and the attractiveness, and when
usually that's not the case. Usually it gets worse as you walk up.
Usually it does. But you open that front door and it hits you like a box of rocks, and you're like, all right, we're gonna get something here. But then you got to be really careful about those too, because they can burn you as an investor.
Yes.
But if you can go through it methodically and understand what it is that is actually creating those smells, how to mitigate those,
get it tested for meth, get it tested for mold, snap some pictures and send it to whatever bank you're trying to negotiate with or whatever you're trying to make happen. The pictures, they really do say 1,000 words, because you can almost, different places I've negotiated, and I've negotiated with the bank to get a discount. I send out a few 4 pictures of mold and an old crack pipe and the residue all over the furniture, and they're just like, okay, what would you give us for this place? They don't want it. No. They don't want it at all.
No. So smells smell like money, right? It really is. So, and it can create those opportunities. So when you're going through a walkthrough property, you're looking for the smells. You're also looking for the cracks in the ceiling, and you're looking for the broken pipes and the water damage and the, discoloration of paint and sheetrock. And what are some of the other things you're really looking for? And Jason is a resident expert, because Jason gets to every single day as he goes through inspections, not just for his own homes, but for other homes and properties that investors and buyers are buying. Jason is a qualified, certified inspector. So what are some of the main things that you're looking for that you want to pay attention to?
So plumbing and electrical are huge. So sometimes these properties, they don't have the power on. Sometimes they don't have the water on. And we walked through one the other day, and we still had the sewer scoped, even though there was no water, just to see what kind of condition that sewer line was in. Because it seems like people stop taking care of the property. They start throwing junk all over the place. They don't clean the property. There's so many things going on with them mentally and physically that there's all sorts of problems you can unravel. And so even if you buy at auction, you may not be able to even go in the property. You may not even know what plumbing damage there is. So sometimes it can be a huge gamble. And so I always put in there, hey, if worst case scenario, if we have to put a new water line in, what's a water line cost? $10,000? Okay, then I need to get this property $10,000 less on top of what my ROI is already going to be on how much I'm going to put into it, my ARV. So negotiate all that in. If you take pictures of mold, man, I don't know how bad the mold is. I don't know where the water's coming from because the water's not on or the electrical's not on. I don't know what kind of panel this is. There's burn marks on the wall from this plug. I don't even know if the plug works or if I kick the power off, the place is going to burn down. So obviously it's probably not going to, but you want to create that for whoever you're negotiating with said, hey, this is a big risk for me. And this could be good or it could go really bad. And so that's why you say, hey, this smells like money, because usually that means you can get it for a big discount. Or the people that own it are in really bad distress and they just want out. And not that you want to take advantage of somebody in distress, but you can help them out. And sometimes we end up paying them a little bit up front to get them so they can move on. And sometimes we pay them on the back. If there's a whole bunch of equity and once we fix it up and we end up selling it, I'll give them some of that also. Just make it a win-win, because that's what it's all about.
Well, I'm actually going to a property tonight from a call that I had 6 weeks ago while I was out of town, and they did a FaceTime with me to say, okay, here are all the features of the home, and you have boxes that are stacked all over, you have cracks through the ceilings, you have, so they're showing me all of these things in the house, and I said, okay, well, I just want us to be upfront, like, what are you guys trying to accomplish? They're like, well, we're expecting a job offer, we know that we're going to be relocating, and here are the things that we cannot do. We don't have the money to be able to fix this property up. I said, okay, so you're having to wholesale it to somebody that can do the fix up, that can go and sell it on the end market, that's going to pay the real estate fees, the closing fees,
cleanup fees,
repairs, all of that. So you have to be able to create then a margin between all of those costs and fees.
And still make a profit.
And still be able to make a profit.
Yeah.
And they understand that. And 6 weeks later, they called me and said, okay, let's have a conversation. We got the job offer, we're relocating, and we have 30 days to be able to be there. So, and that's, you just got to be upfront and honest with people so that they understand what it is that they can expect out of you. Because if you lay out the expectations and you meet those expectations, you will satisfy the terms of all of what everybody's looking for.
And 99% of the time, of all the different people I've talked to, I think I've maybe had one person that felt like, oh man, maybe I should have done something different. But it's only because he didn't understand it completely, and maybe that was my fault. I didn't explain it good enough. That was one of my very first deals I did. But everybody from that time forward, they all love what I was able to do for them, because I was able to help them get out of the property, help them move on to another place, give them a little bit of cash up front, and help them out. Sometimes there's enough that you can give them the background. Sometimes there's not on the back end. So, but they just want out. They're tired of the phone calls. They're trying to relocate. They're getting a new job, and they have this anchor hung around their neck that they can't sell because realtors won't even list it because it's in such bad shape. And they've maybe met with 2 or 3 realtors, and that's usually where I get a phone call because the realtor knows me and knows what I'm doing. Is like, I just met with this couple. I can't sell their house. It's horrible. It's trash. We need somebody else to come in there. So I come in and say, okay, this is what we can do. We'll make this thing work. We'll give you some money up front, move you guys out. And the relief on their face, you can see it. You can see it. They're like, wow, I'm going to get some money. I can move my family. I'm going to get out of this mess. The phone calls are going to stop. You're going to take this property over. I really don't care what you make on the end. And it's all about health.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So creating that win-win-win situation, allows for you to buy it, which is a win for you, it's a win for the person that's selling it to you, and it's a win for that end person that you're finally selling it to. That's what we're trying to create.
Yeah.
And we're solving problems. That's all we are. All we do is we understand what tools and resources we can apply to be able to solve problems. We go in, we solve them, and it allows for us to make money. It allows for people to be able to solve their challenges that they're facing. And at the end of the day, we're trying to create those win-win situations.
So look for those properties. Look for properties you see 6 or 7 vehicles sitting in the front yard on blocks. Look for people that are living in a camper next to the property because they can't afford to either put the power on or the water on. Look for those type of things. Look for things stacked all over the place. Look for people that may be in distress, because a lot of times it's some kind of a mental illness that they're going through. They can't even see the junk that they're living in. And it's not them. It's just the situation that they're in. And so if you can get in there and start talking some sense and give them hope, I'm telling you what, it'd be huge for them and huge for you. So look for those things, look for those opportunities. Let realtors know that that's what you're looking for if you are looking for those. And then if you find a deal and you're like, this is too overwhelming, can't do it, get a hold of Colter and I. We'll come help you take the deal down.
There you go.
We really will. So just, always be open-minded, always be talking to people and look for those deals that most people will say no to, that you look for stuff that smells like money, right?
That's right.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks, Jason.
Thank you.